In this video I will be demonstrating this wire wrap design for this teardrop shaped stone. This stone has a rounded back rather than a flat back like a cabochon would have. I only have one of these stones, so I have not had a chance to practice and will be working out the wire lengths as I go on. To do this, I cut a length of wire and then subtract the amount of wire I trim off at the end. I am using string to give me a rough idea for the length of the base wires. From the middle of the base of the stone, measure around the edge to the top point. This loop roughly represents the bail. I add approximately an inch for dealing with the wire ends. This measurement is for half the stone, so I double it. I don't want to be short on wire, so I add another inch for tolerance. Now measure the piece of string to get the length of the base wires. I have cut 5 lengths of 0.8mm dead soft copper wire. I am using a strip of paper to measure the circumference of the stone. This will be my guide for the weave around the stone. Take one of the wires and find the middle. This is a length of 0.3mm wire. How much I used in the end will be on the screen. Find the middle of the 0.3mm wire. Take the marked wire and another of the 0.8mm wires. Starting from the mark, wrap twice around both wires and bring the 0.3mm wire up between the two wires. Add a third wire above the second. I will be weaving in a zigzag pattern. Wrap twice around the second and third wires, bring the 0.3mm wire back up between them. Add the fourth wire above the third and wrap twice around the two top wires, bring the 0.3mm wire back up between the two wires. Add the fifth wire above the others and wrap twice around the two top wires. This completes the zig part of the weave. For the zag part, wrap twice around wires 3 and 4. Wrap twice around wires 2 and 3. Wrap twice around wires 1 and 2. Turn the wires around so that you can wrap from the other end. Using the other half for the 0.3mm wire, complete a zag and then a zig. For the next part of the weave, I will be ignoring the top and bottom wires. With the 3 remaining wires, wrap twice around the 2 top wires. Wrap twice around the 2 bottom wires. Repeat this pattern twice more. Turn the wires and mirror the design from the other end. Ignore the top and bottom wires. Wrap twice around the 2 bottom wires. Wrap twice around the 2 top wires. Repeat the pattern twice more. Fold your paper guide in half. Use this to measure from the centre of the zigzag how far to weave. From the unfolded end, measure from the centre of the zigzag to the end of the woven area. Fold the paper over. Use this to measure from the centre of the zigzag to where the next part of the weave should end. Wrap the 0.3mm wire around just the middle wire. Keep referring to your paper guide. Unfold the end of your guide. When the weave is complete, it should match the guide. Add the wires above and below the middle wire and mirror the weaving pattern. On the other side we finish with the 2 top wires, so this time we start with the 2 top wires. Add the remaining wires and weave a zigzag. Because we measured how much space this part of the weave takes up, the weave should be the same length as the guide. Turn the wires around to repeat the process from the other end. The weave should now match the full length of the paper guide. This is the fiddly part of using a rounded stone. Shape the weave around your stone. Use some tape to hold the stone in place. Bend the unwoven wires slightly away from each other. Ensure that the wires are running centrally along the side of the stone. Take the unwoven wires and separate the middle wire on both sides. Bring the middle wires together. Take one of the 0.3mm wires and wrap it twice around the base of the middle wires. Wrap the 0.3mm wire around each of the middle wires separately, bringing it between the two wires. You can now remove any excess 0.3mm wire. At the bottom of the weave, gently bend the innermost wires over the front of the stone. Feel free to use pliers. I prefer to use my fingers to avoid any chance of leaving tool marks. Remove the tape. Repeat the process at the top of the weave. Now gently bend the next wires over the side of the stone. Now to sort the top wires. At what will be the front of the pendant, separate out the front two wires and bend them forwards out of the way. At the back of the pendant, bend the front wires out to the side. Follow with the next wires. With the remaining 4 wires, separate into 2 pairs. These are the wires that we will work with first. Each pair will contain 1 middle wire. Bend the pairs of wires apart to roughly a 45-degree angle. The wire I am using to weave the bell is 0.2 mm. Start with the 0.2 mm wire coming up between the 2 pairs. Start with the first pair of wires. Wrap twice around the inner wire. Wrap twice around both wires. Wrap twice around the inner wire, bringing the weaving wire back up between the 2 pairs of wires. Now move to the other pair of wires. Wrap twice around the inner wire. Wrap twice around both wires. Wrap twice around the inner wire, bring the 0.2 mm wire back up between the 2 pairs. Now back to the first pair and repeat the pattern. Keep repeating the weaving pattern, passing the 0.2 mm wire between the 2 pairs of wires whilst maintaining the gap between the 2 pairs. I have woven for 1/2 inch, 1.5 centimeters if you are working in metric. Bend the pairs of wires back towards each other. The wires should cross over 1/2 inch or 1.5 centimeters from the top of the weave. Where the wires meet, bend them back away from each other. Leave a gap between the pairs for the 2 front wires to fit. Continue the same weaving pattern. Now to the 2 wires at the front of the pendant. I will be weaving the wires together with 0.2mm wire. I am starting by wrapping the 0.2mm wire around each wire to anchor it. Start with a 0.2mm wire coming up between the 2 wires. Wrap around the top wire, bringing the 0.2mm wire back up between the 2 wires. Bring the 0.2mm wire over the bottom wire, all the way around both wires and back up between the 2 wires. Around the top wire, over the bottom wire and all the way around both wires, coming back up between the 2 wires. This weave seems a little complicated at first, but you will soon get into a rhythm. I will leave a link in the description to a video which shows this weave in detail. Bend the front wires to fit in the gap between the pairs. Weave the wires together. Wrap twice around wires 4 and 5. Wrap twice around wires 2 and 3. Wrap twice around wires 1 and 2. Wrap twice around wires 5 and 6. Wrap twice around wires 2 and 3. Wrap twice around wires 4 and 5. Now to the first of the side pairs. I will once again be weaving with 0.2mm wire. Anchor the 0.2mm wire by wrapping once around each wire. For the weaving pattern, wrap 6 times around the outer wire. Wrap twice around both wires. Repeat the pattern. As you weave, bend the wires to follow the shape of the bale. Wrap these wires to the other bale wires. Wrap twice around wires 2 and 3. Wrap twice around wires 1 and 2. Wrap twice around wires 2 and 3. Wrap twice around wires 1 and 2. Mirror the process with the other side pair of wires. Now I am removing all the remaining weaving wires. Make sure that all the 0.2mm wires are trapped between 2 base wires before you remove them. I am using this small screwdriver to help shape the bale. It has a diameter of 5mm, so anything of a similar size will be fine. Bend the bale at its widest point. Now to deal with all these wire ends. If your stone is opaque, they can just be trimmed and attached to the wires at the back of the pendant, but my stone is transparent, so I need to be a bit more creative. With the 2 last wires, I am threading them through the gap at the point of the stone. Trim the wires short with the cut ends inside the base of the bale. I can feel a stray wire end, so I'm removing that now. I am repeating the process with the next 2 wires. With the next wires, I am bending them to follow the wire at the side of the stone. Attach the 2 wires together near the top of the pendant using offcuts of 0.2mm wire. Trim and bend the cut ends into small loops. Ensure that the cut ends are pushed well down and can't be felt. The 2 middle wires I am cutting short and curling the ends up below the bail. The final 2 wires I am attaching to the inner of the wires at the back of the stone. Always check that there are no snagging wires on your finished pendant. Thank you for watching. Please join me for my next video.